Welcome to Even Tacos Fall Apart. Sometimes things fall apart, and we love to talk about that. But I hope this podcast helps you also understand that you don't have to put yourself back together alone. Today, we're talking about living with panic disorder, agoraphobia, and depression as a student. My guest is Tsvetty, aka Mental Health Memo, a mental health blogger and YouTuber who was working through a social work and psychology degree when we recorded this back in 2020. This one has been sitting in the vault for a while, and the fact that it still holds up says a lot about how much we still need to be having these conversations 6 years later. Panic disorder is more than just feeling stressed or nervous before a big test. It's your body going into full alarm mode for no clear reason, heart racing, chest tight, feeling like you might actually die, sometimes while you're just sitting in a classroom or standing in line at the grocery store. Agoraphobia tends to show up right alongside it. That's the fear that gets so big it convinces you that leaving your house or being in certain places is genuinely dangerous. Depression on top of all of that adds a weight that makes getting out of bed feel like running a marathon. Now add school to that mix. Deadlines do not care that your brain is trying to convince you you're dying. Professors don't automatically know that the reason you missed 3 weeks of class isn't laziness. Sometimes walking through the door of that building triggers something in you that feels impossible to fight. Being a student while managing all of this takes the kind of strength that is easy to overlook. Tsvetty does not hold back in this one. She talks about what it was like getting diagnosed as a kid, the people in her life who said some genuinely awful things to her while she was struggling, and the professionals who were supposed to help but instead made things harder. She also gets into what actually worked for her, real coping strategies, and avoids the Pinterest quote version of self-care. It becomes easy to see yourself in parts of this conversation, even if you have an experience that looks nothing like hers. And if you don't see anything of yourself, I'll bet you know someone who will. So stick around. Here is Mental Health Memo and I talking through her experience living with panic disorder, agoraphobia, and depression as a student.
Hi, I am here with a wonderful, wonderful guest. This is Tsvetty. She is a mental health blogger and YouTuber. She decided to create content about mental health because she struggled with mental illness since she was a kid, dominantly anxiety and mood disorders. But on top of that, she's also an undergrad student for social work and psychology, where she is learning the practitioner side of the mental health sector, which she was once in before as a patient. She likes putting her lived experience as well as her professional knowledge together to provide the most informative articles and videos possible. She has a fantastic YouTube channel. I highly encourage you to go check her out. I'm going to give you her blog, her YouTube, her Twitter, her Pinterest, her Instagram, all of it. Really cool content that she's creating, and I appreciate her. I appreciate you taking the time tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a question queue set up. So British Jazz King, I don't know if you've been here on a Monday before, but we're doing just kind of a guest interview. And this is where you can ask any questions that you have of our guest, of me, whatever it is that you have questions about in a non-diagnosing manner. I am not a professional. Tsvetty is not yet a professional either. Oh, you're this way, this way. But we do each have lived experience with different things. And sometimes my guests on Mondays are professionals. Sometimes they are not. And we're just kind of here to talk about mental health. So if you have any questions, !Q, we'll put it into the queue. And if you just put it into the chat and you forget to put it into the queue, it's okay. I'll see it too. So as we go through kind of the rest of them, don't feel scared or like you shouldn't be putting things into chat. I would love for you guys to ask questions, and that's totally up to you. So Bite Mark says, I'm half here and half at Alex's stream. Sorry if I'm slow with links or anything. No worries, Bite Mark. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. So especially right now, a lot of people are trying to find things to do kind of in and around our homes versus going out and about. Although I know that some states are reopening, and that's a whole other deal. I'm in one of them, so there's that.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to stay home.
Me too. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, right. It's scary shit, right? I mean,
It is.
It just is. So what are some of your favorite at-home hobbies?
I don't think that I'm a very big hobby person, in all honesty. All I know is work and sleep. But when I choose to actually do a hobby I enjoy, I like to paint. Painting is really calming. I love yoga. I always do yoga in the morning. I love walking my dog. I love reading. Yeah, I'm kind of a bookworm. I like doing anything indoors, really. So I would say those are kind of my favorite things to do right now, but mostly I'm just working.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like once a week. The hobby is once a week, maybe once a month.
I understand that. Do you follow like YouTube videos for your yoga or something?
I do. I follow Yoga with Adrian. She is lovely. I would highly recommend her if you want to do yoga. She's great. Like her videos are really great quality. The yoga is really great quality.
Oh, she's the one with the dog. Okay.
Yes,
I know who she is. Yes.
Benji. Yes. Oh, yes. That is Adrian. Yeah. And I really recommend her. She has lovely videos for like every occasion. So when I feel very energetic, I can actually do like a proper one. And actually get a proper workout in. But if you're feeling stressed, she has a lot of wonderful ones for anxiety and stress and depression and meditations. I mean, it's the best. Really recommend her.
Yeah, Bite Mark showed me a video of her that was just like level 5,000 yoga or something. It was, I don't know how she was doing some of the things she was doing, but it was crazy. But I like her and I like her dog.
She's great. She's funny. And honestly, once you practice, you'll be surprised what you can do. I couldn't even touch my toes before. And now I can actually touch them. I can do other things. I'm like, wow, how interesting that my body can now move this way.
Yeah.
So practice will definitely help.
Yeah. People are always shocked that I actually can touch my toes. I'm like, listen, I might be a big lady, but I'm flexible.
That is a huge myth. People are like, if you're like larger, then you can't touch your toes and be flexible. No,
you can't.
That's not.
Can I put my foot behind my head? No. Could I do that when I wasn't, overweight? No.
No. Yeah, exactly. It's all myth.
Yeah. Bite Mark says she can touch her toes. It's not even difficult for her. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is like, even if you can only touch your knees, like from a standing position, if you work on it every day, you can really get to where you're much more flexible.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And if you actually want a tip for that, if you watch like shows on TV or something and you can stand, you should stretch then because you can't focus on pain as much. I've learned that.
Oh.
So put on a good show and do your stretching then because you're so distracted you don't feel the pain. So
yeah.
It's a good tip to try.
That's interesting because I have a problem in my shoulder right now and I do my shoulder exercises and the exercises for I have carpal tunnel syndrome and they canceled the surgery. My surgery was scheduled for the day that they canceled all elective surgeries before all of this. So like my hands hurt and this finger, like that's as high as I can get it where like normally I can get it, way back. But I do those while I'm watching something either on YouTube or something like that. And I never connected that maybe it's easier for me then because I'm not focused on the pain. That's a really good point.
No, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Really good to try it.
Yeah, definitely. And Bite Mark redeemed to stretch it out. So I have a couple commands in mind with like stretch and drink water because those are the things that I forget to do all the time. So I'm just doing like a little.
I do that all the time too. My hands also hurt.
Yeah.
Because computer. So yeah, I got you there.
I mean, I like this one because like this is a good stretch, but then whenever you press it down and I say like I put my arms under my boobs and kind of my hands between them for positioning, but it gets it all the way through your forearms almost, which is nice. It's really nice. So yeah, it is.
Also, this one feels good too.
Don't know what you now that one hurts.
That
not
hurts
hand.
If you do it too much.
Yeah. So this one's hurt. This. So you said you're a bookworm also. Do you have any books that you're particularly fond of?
No, I'm actually the worst person because if you ask me what's my favorite, I never have an answer. Like people are like, what's your favorite character? What's your favorite book? Favorite food? I'm like, I don't know. I have favorites.
What did I just read? That's my favorite.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever I remembered that I read last. But I've always been a really big fan of horror books. So literally when I was a kid, I was like 5 years old learning English through Goosebumps. I read all the Goosebumps in our school library, all the horror books. I wrote my own books that were horror as like a 6-year-old. I don't know why
that's awesome.
Dr. Sooner. That's what I was doing my whole childhood. So I really like horror books. I can't think of anything, to be honest. I also like manga as well. Manga's great. Comic books are great. Self-help books are great. I've been reading quite a few. I'm hoping to read some and kind of assess them and dissect them and maybe actually write about some of them, because I think there's a lot on the market that is kind of a little yikes, a little not ideal in what it's trying to convey. So trying to, find some good ones. I literally have my bookshelf right here and I could not even tell you, like,
You go talk to your sister. Thank you. Sorry.
okay. I really don't mind. I already told you I work with kids.
Yeah. No matter how many times I tell him, and it's like partially my fault, because whenever I don't have a guest on, I let him come over here and like, give me a hug and stuff. Yes. Yeah. So
it's all right. I don't know.
What is it?
Is it dinner? Is one is dinner?
Are you starving again? You can go eat your dinner. You may not have popcorn.
I don't blame him. I always want popcorn too.
I know, popcorn is so good. How can you
How can you not favorite?
But he also didn't eat his dinner, so no.
There you go, yeah.
So you're also a social work and psychology student. What made you become interested in that line of work?
I've actually always been super interested in psychology. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved, I don't mean this in a weird way, but like dissecting people's minds, like trying to understand why people do certain things, and also kind of how we as humans interact with each other and why we do or say certain things. It's always been really interesting to me just how as humans we work and why we work that way. So I've always been super interested as a kid. It's not even like, it's actually an ironic joke that I also happen to have mental illnesses, because I've actually just always been interested in it. But the thing is, I wanted a job that was kind of more broad, that still incorporated mental illness, but also other things as well that psychology doesn't touch on as much. So that's why I ended up going that way. And I also was hoping to create, I guess, a positive impact on folks that are kind of going through similar things. Because I remember for me, I went, like you mentioned, actually, I've had mental illness since I was a kid. And I was around I've always felt that way, but it really blew up when I was around 12 or 13. And when you're that age, like nobody is really going through that. And it feels really weird, really scary. I was like, why is this happening to me? Like, why does no one else have these problems? And I felt really like lonely, really sad, really like broken as just a person. And I wanted to kind of help the little me's out there in a way, if that makes sense. And show them that, it's okay. And there's a lot of people out there that are just like you, and you're gonna be okay. So it's just something I care about deeply, and also something I'm super duper interested in. I read like psychology articles for fun on a Friday night. Like it's not like I said, I'm a bookworm, a little bit of a weirdo. So we
love weirdos here.
Yes. I feel like I'm at home already.
So Bite Mark has a question. She says, are there any manga or graphic novel series you would recommend for a 14-year-old?
Dear 14-year-old. Okay, now I gotta watch myself.
Oh, no, she's not 14. She has a 14-year-old daughter.
Okay, great. Let me see. What does your daughter like? Am I allowed to ask the question back?
Yes, of course. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I had to be really careful. My middle bonus son really likes manga and stuff, and one time he picked up one in the store and I like flipped through it before I told him yes he could buy it, because normally if they want books I'm like, yeah, let's go, do it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to read it, and I was like, I had a conversation with his father and I was like, listen, there's stuff in it.
Yeah.
And But we did let him read it. We said, listen, there's some very adult topics in here, but if you get to a point where you're too scared, and he didn't even make it very far into the book anyway. But a couple of the mangas that he picked up, I flipped through and I was like, no.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, because the ones that I've read that I've really enjoyed have unfortunately been horror. So if you're asking for an adult one I would recommend, I'd be like those. But if it's a 14-year-old, oh my gosh, I don't even know. Because I feel like everything I read and watch is usually dark. I don't really watch fun stuff. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. I don't know a lot of fun ones. I've heard that, what's it called? No, I don't remember the name. Okay, I'll come back to that one. If I remember the name, I'll let you know, because I unfortunately forgot. And all the other ones are horror, so I'm so sorry.
Bite Mark said she's been really hard to nail down on what she likes specifically. I've tried and tried, but she's all over the map. She prefers graphic novels over books, but that's entirely out of my wheelhouse. And then she said, don't feel pressured for sure to like provide a recommendation. It's totally fine.
Yeah. The problem is I probably have them. I just can't remember them. That's my biggest issue. So I probably
understandable.
have something in my mind and I just don't remember it.
I'm the same way. Like anytime anyone asks me for a recommendation, I've read a lot of books and my range is pretty vast. Like I don't only read one thing or whatever. So anytime someone asks me, I have to go through like the past 5 or 6 books that I've read and pick one of those because I'm like, I can't remember something from last year.
Exactly the same. I have the same problem. I just can't remember. I've read like basically we have like a library close by our house. When I was a kid, I read every single book for like teens and kids in that library. I had to order more stuff. But it's like if you were to ask me, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll borrow a book I read last week. Like I don't know.
Yep. Absolutely. It has been nice to use Goodreads to actually put in a review of a book so that I can go back and look at that review and then be like, okay, that's what I didn't like or liked about this book. Save stuff for other people.
That's a good idea, actually. Maybe I should also write them down. You've read this book, this book.
Yeah.
It was about this. Don't recommend it to 14-year-olds.
Don't read this series by this person because the first book sucked. You're going to think you wanted to read it later on. You're like, oh yeah, she wrote that one series. Don't do it to yourself. You've already tried.
Absolutely. But
Bite Mark says I have...
Yeah?
Oh, I was just going to say, Bite Mark said I have favorites, plural. Which one I recommend depends on what I know about the person. That's also very true.
That's true. Absolutely. Yeah. If you know someone hates something, like don't recommend it to them. Yeah, I find that a nasty move to do. But I randomly remembered. This isn't a comic, but no, that's horror too. Never mind. I was about to be like, there was this great series I read as a kid, and I'm like, that was also horror. I'm the worst.
Is it Goosebumps level horror or like horror? But horror? Also,
no. It was like less than Goosebumps. I think it was called the Grim Hill series. It was wonderful. I really loved it. It was like it was about 2 sisters, and one of them like had magical powers, and the school was magical. It was more like wizardy kind of thing. But that one I loved as a kid. It wasn't as scary as Goosebumps, but also Goosebumps never scared me. I don't think I have like that kind of
you don't have the gene.
So I think it all went into anxiety instead. So
yeah, well,
sometimes. I have to compensate.
Yeah, right. So we've already kind of started talking about not crime necessarily, but do you have a serial killer or true crime story that fascinates you?
I have a lot, actually. Here I go again. When I was a kid, I actually had a schedule for Criminal Minds. So it would always air at like 1 p.m. and then 5 p.m. And I, every single day, would block out that time just so I could watch Criminal Minds. It was beyond like an addiction. It was too much. I was honestly...
Well, now you can just marathon it on Netflix.
I know. Isn't that so nice? Before I had to like wait, I would like look at the time and it wasn't time to watch it. I'd be so sad. But for the same reason, I've always been really interested in serial killers and just murder in general and crime in general because, again, I'm always just so fascinated by the idea of how the brain works and why certain people do things. Like I did a lot of research on the difference between like sociopaths and psychopaths and how environment and genetics play a part in all these things. I've always just been so interested in also like human behavior, how different gestures and things can portray things, like all that stuff. I was really interested. One story that sticks out for me though, I don't remember his name. I don't think I want to remember his name, but he used to dress up as a clown. And and unfortunately
it's already bad.
It's already bad. So he used to dress as a clown and he used to also like target children. Mm-hmm. So not cute. But the reason that I found it interesting was because the idea of like taking something innocent and pure and like turning it into something evil is also very, to me, intriguing. Like that's why kids and like horror movies scare me more than the ghost. I'm just
oh yeah, for sure.
It's pure. Leave it alone. Like you don't need to. You can show me the ghost, but don't touch the child. So that would always stick out to me. So I'm just like imagining like a clown man like just chasing after me.
John
It's
Wayne
scarier
Gacy?
than it.
Is it
Hmm?
John Wayne Gacy? Could that
Maybe?
have been it? Maybe.
Maybe. You probably, whoever said it is probably right. I
Yeah.
don't remember the name at all, but I'm sure it's him because I can't imagine it's a lot of serial killers who dress as clowns. So
Well, you know, known as the killer clown.
yeah,
That could be.
there you
Yeah,
go.
that could be it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Zodiac Killer was also an interesting case. I don't know, I find all of them just interesting in their own way because they all show different things about human psychology, and it's always
Mhm.
just really fascinating but disturbing. Not like
Yeah.
fascinating in a happy way, like fascinating in like a what is happening.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I used to watch Murder, She Wrote as a kid.
Oh.
And then, was that at Grandma and Grandpa's house? That might have been at Grandma and Grandpa's house. And then, what was the other one that they watched all the time? That one was like a law show. Matlock. I used to watch Matlock all the time.
Yeah.
And then kind of evolved into watching, there was a different true crime show.
Murder?
I watched that too, but it was like
I don't like that
after. It's kind of after those. But anyway, so now, yeah, Bite Marks is watching things whenever you want and as much as you want with no or limited commercials is amazing. I'm so glad I live in this time. But yes, like being able to just marathon Criminal Minds for as long as I want. And like you said, it's not that I'm gleeful that these things, 'cause a lot of those are based on like true stories. So I'm not happy that these things happen, but it's just fascinating to watch and they do go into the kind of the psychology of the person, and it's really interesting.
Interesting, yeah. When I was a kid, that's what I wanted to be as an adult. But then I realized I live in Canada and we don't have an FBI. So I was like, wait a minute, how did this translate into Canadian context? And then and then I figured out how it translates. You have to be with oh my God, what are they called? I love that I live in Canada. I don't know what they're called. It's the federal officers that wear like the red suits with the big hats. You've probably seen them. Like, why? I know this.
Are you talking about the mounted police?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for knowing that information. But the thing is to actually join them, even if you don't want to be in like the physical part of being an officer, you still have to go and train, like physically train. And it's very much like military style kind of training. And it's also in Regina, which is like a city in Saskatchewan, which is the middle of nowhere. It's in the prairies. And I was just like, no, thank you. I don't want to do a million push-ups a day. I'll skip this. I'll just be a social worker. Close enough,
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Right. It's good. It's good enough. Diagnosis Murder. That's the one. That's the one I was trying to think of. Thank you for knowing my brain better than I know my brain.
It happens. Sometimes people know us better than we know ourselves. It happens.
It's so true. It's so true. But also, like, my brain is just mush a lot of the time. So it's fine.
Oh, no, absolutely. That's a common thing I find.
Yeah. So you've kind of mentioned it already, but you live with panic disorder, agoraphobia, and depression. What was the biggest challenge before your diagnoses, and did your perception of those challenges change after arriving at each of those diagnoses?
Yes. So for me, before I had the diagnoses, for me, I was just really, I was really confused because for folks that don't know, panic disorder is the key component of panic disorder is having random and consistent panic attacks, and agoraphobia is the fear of like leaving your house. So having really severe anxiety or panic attacks when you leave the house, and panic disorder and agoraphobia tend to always go hand in hand. Sorry to sound like a psychologist. So
you're fine.
So thank you. So like I said, it happened when I was really young. And before that, I had always had anxiety. So I was really just confused. And my biggest challenge was just being in my own body because I was feeling all these sensations, mental and physical. And I didn't know what they were. And I didn't know why they were happening. And so it was absolutely terrifying to like a 12-year-old me that all these things were happening. And then once I got the diagnoses, for me, I find that the most that you can know about something, the more control you feel you have over it, and the more power you have over it. So I always encourage learning about what you think you're experiencing because that could help you to feel, like you have power over it. You can empower yourself that way. And so once I got the diagnoses, once I really kind of understood what was happening, that part of the fear went away because I'm like, okay, this is a legit thing that's happening to a lot of other people. I understand what's happening here. But then the challenge became, how do I get out of it? How do I get out of the rut? Because I was in school, I had my panic attack at school, and I couldn't go back. And so I was out of school for months and I couldn't go back. Yeah, I was almost gone a whole year. I'm surprised they let me graduate. But
They knew you were just too awesome to hold back.
I know. I was too smart. What can I say?
Right?
Straight A average. So yeah, the biggest challenge really was just getting out of it and being good to myself, like being kind to myself about it. Those were really the biggest challenges. And honestly, I find that every time you get over a hurdle, you face a different type of hurdle. So once I knew how to cope, I knew what strategies worked. Then the next hurdle was, well, okay, how do I go further than this? I'm able to go back to school, I'm able to do these things, but I want to do more. How can I get to that point? And then it's, okay, you got to this point. How can you stop being so hard on yourself and expecting so much of yourself and, being kinder to yourself? So I think the challenges always change, and I think that's completely normal. And honestly, every single one of those challenges has taught me a lot. And I think that I would not be who I am if I didn't have those challenges. I wouldn't know what I know, have the compassion I have, and the dedication I have to my work.
I really like what you said about the more information, like learning more about what you have, because for me, especially, I know not everyone is like that. Like some people, they don't want all the information, but I really, I'm a list maker whenever, not all the time. Like I don't make a grocery list. I don't make a daily list. I don't have a to-do list. When I do, I add things to it as I do them because I'm like, no, I need credit for that on this list that I made for no one to look at besides myself. But yeah, spreadsheets, exactly. Yeah, so like I like spreadsheets, information. If I'm doing something, if it's a project, I need all of the information. I need to know as much as I can about it. Like if I'm doing something in a game, I'll watch 15 YouTube videos about it and find all the different strategies, except for RuneScape. Don't start. Don't start.
Oh,
don't start. I've been playing it for 15 years.
I saw you playing it when I was on Discord. I'm like, nice.
Yeah, I've played RuneScape for on and off for 15 years since I was like 17, 18. And now I don't watch YouTube videos for that. Like I'm the slowest player ever, like the most casual, but that's my fallback game for casual. Like if I just need to turn my brain off, like I'll just pull up RuneScape and play a little bit because it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I don't have to do it perfectly. It's just like, all right, I'll just do this. But anything else, like I need the information. If I'm trying to make a major decision, I need all the information. When I found out that I have major depressive disorder, I'm like, let's Google everything. Which my therapist is like, okay, maybe you need to limit that a little bit.
You know what? It's interesting because there's people like you and I who love the information and people who don't. And I think that's really important to like validate that. For example, for some people, knowing their diagnosis and knowing everything about it is what empowers them. And for some people, not having a label and not having a diagnosis is what empowers them. So I feel like, especially kind of in our Western world, especially, there's a really big emphasis on diagnosis, symptoms, treatment plan, the medical model. Is that a term people understand? Should I explain that? Because I don't know when I'm talking social work. Medical model is basically medical model is basically just what you would consider the medical world. So doctors, symptoms, diagnoses, treatments, like stuff like that, medications, a medical viewpoint of seeing things. So seeing something, seeing a person, seeing that something is wrong with them, figuring out what that thing is, like diagnosing it. Okay, that kind of thing. That's the spiel. So I feel like especially here, we really value that. And some people feel a lot of pressure from that. They're like, oh, I need to get that diagnosis or what I'm feeling isn't valid. But I think it's completely valid and fair to approach your mental health how you want to.
Yeah.
And like if you're a person who likes the medical model, who likes diagnoses and finds comfort, that's great. If I found a lot of comfort in it because I'm like, okay, this is a legit thing that other people have. But for some people, labels just aren't it, right? So I think that's a really important point to always remind people, I feel like.
It definitely is, because while I might like to have all the information, somebody else might just focus on how they're feeling every day and what works for them, and without the information, because the information overwhelms them. Like, I get that's totally fine. Different people, just like different people learn in different ways, different people work in different ways. There's the people who want high level, there's people who want the details, there's people who want to just focus on kind of feelings, and there's the people who just want to focus on whether or not they're feeling included. And like that's all different levels of learning and information gathering and taking in, and all that's totally fine. Bite Mark said, I know someone that hates labels, but also complains that there's not an easy way to find people with similar thoughts, feelings, experience to them. It frustrates me because I'm a labels person, and that's the way you find those people. Yes. Yeah, I know that's hard. It is.
Yeah. And it is also hard because I feel like sometimes the way that we interpret labels is always negative. You know what I mean? Like, I feel a lot of times when you label someone, they're like, why are you labeling me? But there's, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with labeling things personally, right? And like you mentioned, like our viewer mentioned, some people don't, like, they just have like a natural negative instinct towards labels, and it can be hard for them to want to accept it, even if it would help them technically.
Really?
So it's tricky, but everyone's kind of, on their journey with that.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog just knocked over one of my cameras, so I have to pick it up now.
Go right ahead. I wish I could do something entertaining while you do that. Oh, wait, I can. Okay. I can do something entertaining for the
Hopefully
people.
he didn't crack it.
Did he?
No,
okay.
He didn't. I mean, he likes to, but he didn't this time.
You'll have to try again next time.
Right? He's a German Shepherd, and he's like 6 months old? Maybe 6 months old? Probably not even.
Sweet baby.
So he's just really excited all the time.
Yeah. I've only adopted older animals, so I've never had the fun experience of a puppy. I always get them when they're already chilled out adults. So I can't relate to your struggle, but I wish I could.
It's all good. I think it's fine.
No cracks?
Nope, no cracks. I think we're fine.
Yay.
Like I said, that one's just an old phone anyway, but I'm also running out of old phones at this point, so.
You still have yours that you were using earlier.
Right.
We still have that one.
Yes.
I can donate mine if you'd like.
Right.
Where's the donation bin?
Mail your phones.
That would be great. Give me your address later. I'll email it to you.
That's awesome. Bite Mark wants to know what the entertaining thing was.
Oh, okay. So, I'm not even going to explain it. I'm just going to show it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a duck.
Shit, I absolutely love it. That's fantastic.
With party trick, I'm just like, do you want to hear a duck?
Yes, we all want to hear a duck.
I don't even know. I think it's I'm Bulgarian. So someone, a Bulgarian person taught it to me. And then I showed a friend, and she was so confused. And then she tried to do it, and she couldn't. I'm like, maybe it's not in your genes, man. And
so what are you doing? What are you doing with your mouth?
All right. So so the mouth actually...
We're getting a lesson in this. All right. Okay.
Here we go. Mental health. So your hand has to be like this. So it kind of has to fit like your mouth. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And you have to keep everything nice and tight, like the finger. And you kind of have like the finger here. And then you cover it with your other hand, not too much. There should still be a bit of a hole here.
Okay.
And then don't fully close it. Keep your hand out.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just bring it to your mouth. And you just blow normally. And then you do this while you do it. Give it a try. Yeah, everyone does that. I'm like, wait, what? Maybe it's genetic. I don't know. Maybe I'm half duck.
All right.
I'm just blowing. I'm not doing anything interesting. I promise. I'm trying to see what you kind of had it for a second there. There you go. It's coming. It's coming along. It's coming along. You got it.
All right. I'll have to practice that later.
I know. Show me next time how you improve.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have you back on specifically for a duck noise update. Yes, absolutely.
I'm here to teach you the most important skills of life.
Listen, you know what though? Sometimes mental health is just about laughing, so I'm fine with this.
I know, absolutely. I'm so happy I got to teach you that. Wow. I wasn't expecting to show you that trick, but I saw my opportunity and
Yes. I am honestly so glad that you did. That's perfect.
Just don't teach it to your kids. You'll hate it.
I mean, one of them's in there. She's probably listening. She's probably already figured out how to do it better than I can.
No, I'm sorry. I'll have to send you an apology card with that phone.
Right. So you described it a little bit already, but can you describe kind of your experience with agoraphobia and kind of the same for panic disorder and with depression?
Absolutely. So, like I mentioned, I always felt weird ever since I was little. Like from my first conscious thought, I just always like there was kind of like a cloud over me. I always felt kind of nervous and scared about things. It's interesting though because I never knew the word to put for it. Like I would always have stomach aches and body aches and headaches, and I would be very shy. But I didn't register that was anxiety, and so yeah, ever since I was a kid, I've kind of felt that way. And when I was in middle school, so between like elementary school and middle school is when my depression really blew up. I was very, very depressed. I had like no interest in doing anything. I was always really sad, always really angry. But I was too ashamed or scared to bring it up because especially where I come from, we have very old school kind of ways of thinking about mental health. I mean, I don't agree with those ways of thinking, but everyone back home would. And I was born there, we came here, so we are like first generation immigrants. And I didn't want to bring that up. I didn't want to worry anyone. I didn't want to come off as if something was wrong with me. And then, so I kind of kept it to myself, and I was really depressed and suicidal actually at that point. But when I was in school, I ended up having a panic attack. That panic attack that triggered my panic disorder, and it got really bad. Like I said, I couldn't go back to school. Lord knows I tried, but I just like the moment I walked in, it was like panic attack. I was like, nope, can't do it. Don't want to do it. And so I ended up seeing a doctor, and he actually referred me to the emergency department of the hospital. And they questioned me and did intake with me. And they offered me to either do an intake program at the hospital or intensive outpatient. And the guy that was doing my intake was the biggest asshole I've ever met in my entire life. So degrading, so rude. I'm like, if I'm stuck with you, I'm not staying here. That is for certain. And that's also another reason I wanted to go in this line of work, to not be that person. So I ended up doing outpatient, and basically I was seeing a psychiatrist like 2 to 3 times a week, every single week. And I did exposure therapy with her, cognitive behavior therapy. The exposure therapy was for the agoraphobia and the panic disorder. And the cognitive behavior therapy was for my depressive thoughts and such. And I basically did therapy with her intensively for about a year. And then after that went less frequently. And then eventually was able to like branch off after help that she gave me. And through her, I really learned, what it is that I have, how to cope with it, how to identify, things that aren't right in my body and in my mind and such. And since then I've still had those diagnoses actually plural. And I've just been continuing to live as best as I can with them. I have a lot of lows, a lot of highs. It always changes, but I've learned a lot, and I've learned a lot from my experiences, and I've also learned a lot from my actual professional education. And so I feel a lot, better now, like in terms of being able to take care of myself and live a bit more, happier, like a little bit happier, a little bit more in control. But those are kind of my experiences, and they were really difficult, especially as a child, to kind of go through that. Usually panic disorder comes up more in young adults, but it came nice and early for me. So, that's like the gist. If I told you everything, we'd be here for 3 days. So that's the gist.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, right. So try not to be addicted anymore, but really not someone having a mental crisis. Yeah, absolutely. Like that's, yeah. And
absolutely.
And as someone who, like, I have been in serious depressive mode, suicidal, kind of passive suicidal thoughts and everything. And how people talk to you matters. And especially if someone knows that you're struggling, especially someone who knows that you're struggling, how they talk to you matters. And it's such a shame to get to a health facility and have someone not support your health because they can't see what's wrong.
Yeah.
So,
And I think what made it worse for me was because I was so young, they were kind of like, they didn't want to respect my wishes because I was like,
Mhm.
I don't want you to share this information with my parents. So don't. And he's like, no, I'm going to share it with them. And I was just like, what? Like, how could you just,
right.
what? Like, I was so confused. He's like, I'm here with you or outside? I was like, can you go outside and get run over by a truck? Like, I was so mad. I was
Yeah.
like, you're the biggest asshole I've ever met.
Right.
And like you said, also, especially by loved ones, that was really hard for me, especially again, because we come from this background. I was told one time by a loved one to just stop having panic attacks because I'm stressing them out. And I was just like,
stop. Just snap those
Yeah.
fingers and stop that.
yeah. I was like, wait, I could stop my panic attacks? I didn't know. Oh my God, tell me how to do it. I would have done it by now. Like,
Right.
it's just the things that I've been told. It's just, oh my God. I literally
Yeah.
wrote a whole like post about this. I'm like, how can people be this dumb? Like, sometimes
Right.
I'm just like, how? So it's really important. And it's like things like this, like what you do here with your discussions about mental health that are so important because people need to know, it's not,
Yeah.
even if they're not experiencing mental health, I'm sure someone else in their life is, even if they
Mhm.
don't know it. And so
Yeah.
these kind of discussions are just super duper important.
Yeah, I don't know the stats in Canada, but in the US, 1 in 4 people every year will experience mental illness. And over a lifetime, it's 1 in 2. So,
Yeah.
like, the chances that you're not going to experience mental illness, okay, that's fine. Maybe you won't. But the chances that you don't know someone who has been through and experienced mental illness are almost zero.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know someone, whether you know it or not, you know someone.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the stats are pretty similar here too,
Yeah.
and probably all over the world.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I'm
in
sure.
other countries, it's not talked about, right? So it's like, in a way, we're also lucky to have the ability to talk about this because in a lot of places, you could be shunned, you could be kicked out of your
Yeah.
house, you could
Yep.
be scrutinized by your entire community. So even just this in itself, I'm not saying this is by any means like the end goal, but I think you should also still acknowledge how lucky we are to even be able to talk
Yeah.
about it openly and in most places, not lose your job or not entirely
Right.
lose your community, right? So
Yep.
any progress is a win. So
Mhm. Yep. And it is far better now than it was 10 years ago. Like,
5
so
years
much
ago,
better.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. So much better now than it was. So it's, like you said, not the end goal, but thank God we're here and not where we were.
Exactly. Always going forward.
Yes.
Not going back.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Why didn't I think of that? Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
Just cheer up. It's cool. Just cheer up.
Mhm.
Have you
Yeah.
tried just smiling? Like,
Have you
What?
tried, I don't know, just being happier? Like,
right. Mm,
and especially when people compare as well, like suffering, they're like, what do you have to be sad about? And it's like,
Oh my
what?
God. Yeah.
Why would you say that? Like, of all the things you could say, why would you say that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
there's no need to compare human suffering. It's still suffering, At
But
least be
also,
happy.
even if you literally your life is perfect on the outside, like, first of all, it's not perfect on, behind all of the perfect that you put out there. But also, just because your brain is telling you that you're sad about something and other people wouldn't be sad about it doesn't mean that your feeling of sadness isn't valid. And just because the person next to me just got, hit by a truck because they were an asshole at a hospital and deserved it, doesn't mean I can't be sad about something much more minor. Like, their sadness does not invalidate my sadness.
Yeah.
Just like,
And everyone feels, yeah.
just
But-
like if you were super happy about something and it was like you won $1 billion lottery and I'm super happy that my snake shed last night, that doesn't make me less happy knowing that you just won a lottery. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna compare sadness, let's compare happiness too and see how that fits. Like, that
Absolutely. And everyone feels things differently, right? Like, some people just feel emotions a lot deeper, especially with things like borderline personality disorder. Like, folks feel that really deep. And
Yeah.
we can't, you can't compare it because you don't feel it,
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's a cool move either. People
Yeah.
really should
Yeah.
they should really upgrade their way of talking to
Yeah.
people when it comes
Yeah,
to
for
mental health.
sure. For sure. Someone asked me the other day if I had considered just not being upset by mouth sounds. All right, so Bite Mark has the Maya. I know the thing. It's
Do you
a
want to maybe explain it?
she hates mouth sounds. That's basically it.
Ah,
Misophonia.
okay.
Yes, misophonia. Yeah, she has that, and I guess somebody asked her if she just had considered not being upset. Mitochondria. No, that's the powerhouse of the cell.
I know. I was about to say. I was gonna be like, "Are you asking me about the mitochondria?" I can answer that one.
Anytime I
Gotcha.
interview anyone, I'm going to ask them about the mitochondria. Does our job have
Mine
anything
too.
to do with science? No. Yes. And can you make a duck sound? Can you make a duck sound? What's the mitochondria?
Exactly. There you go. That's your new question for your interviews from now on.
Yes, that's perfect. It's perfect.
Absolutely. But yeah, that as well, especially with phobias, when people are really scared of
Mhm.
something and people are just like, well, just don't be scared of it. That's not how it works. Like, even if it might be what we would consider an irrational fear, quote unquote, it's still like it's still something that's happening. Like, if you're
Mhm.
feeling physical symptoms, you know what I mean? I think a lot of times people, for whatever reason, perceive the mind as something more, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not as physical. Like, they see the mind as something that is more arbitrary.
Mhm.
Like, you can control your thoughts because they're
Right.
not physical. But it's like, those thoughts, where are they? They're in your brain. What's your brain? A physical thing.
It's an
You
organ.
know?
Let me
It's
just
like,
tell my heart to pump blood better since I just had a
I
heart
know,
attack. Like,
exactly. Like, stop making
okay.
me less like sugar. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like a really like annoying thing. And even like, yeah, I could rant about that forever,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's really
I'm with
frustrating.
you. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's like it's just not how it works. Thoughts are part of the brain. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And even with other mental illnesses, like, there's legit things happening in the brain. Like, some parts of the brain are overacting, some are underacting. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not even gonna go into it because I'm gonna go on a whole tangent about the brain, and that's not what I'm that's not what I'm about to do. We don't do
Listen, we
that
are
today.
here for tangents, okay?
I already taught you the ducks.
Oh, I know it's irrational. It would be great to be able to be around other people eating and not want to punch them in their stupid face because why are their cheeks making that sound on their teeth? Look, I don't have misophonia, and sometimes my kids are eating and I'm like, I can't be next to you right now.
Oh, that's fair. Honestly, I'm the worst because I am that person making that noise. I'm so sorry. I'm so
But like
sorry.
if they're eating popcorn or something and I'm eating the popcorn too, then it doesn't bother me.
Then it's fine, yeah.
But
But
if they're eating something and making obnoxiously loud noises, sometimes I'm like, wow, were y'all raised in the barn?
What's really interesting about that is actually that is like that's a subjective thing over cultures because I've been told by like Korean friends that when you're making a lot of noise when you eat, that's actually like a sign of like respect, like, wow, this food is delicious, like that I'm making all these smacking noises. I'm like,
Well,
Korea would
in
love
Japan,
me.
right. In Japan, if you slurp your soup, it's actually a really nice gesture because you're enjoying it. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it's interesting because here we're
Mhm.
like, no elbows on the table, don't make noise.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I wonder if they would have that there as well, then, like, folks that also have like that phobia of like people.
I have no
Probably.
idea. There's probably someone,
I'm sure
there's got to be, but
There's got-
well, and also, in South Korea, like I know that everyone just thinks South Korea and they think like everyone is South Korean, but when I was there last year, 2 years ago, whenever I was there for a few months, and it's
nice.
quite a melting pot. I mean, there's a lot of different cultures. Of course, you're going to go into a restaurant and it's mostly Korean food because that's the culture. But yeah, it's a pretty big melting pot. So my money would be on, yes, there are plenty of people in the country.
Probably.
Are they of South Korean descent? I don't know.
Now we don't know. We have to do it.
Frost said, if you slurp my soup, I'll take it away from you. I would never slurp your soup. I wouldn't do it to you. So are there any strategies you found particularly helpful for handling the symptoms of your agoraphobia?
Yes. So, well, the first thing is that you have to, unfortunately, face the reality that the only way to get over it is to actually do it. And that's the reality of every phobia and every fear, every anxiety. The only way to do it is like to feel better is to literally do it consistently. And that's basically what exposure therapy is. It's exposing you to what you're scared of in small doses that slowly get bigger and bigger so that you can, consistently face what scares you, overcome it, and then that kind of reforms your mind to in how it sees the thing that scares it, right? So For example, like if someone was scared of spiders, first they might look at pictures of spiders, then they might see like a spider. You are you scared of spiders? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll kill them for you. I got you.
I don't mind if they're outside. I don't want them on my screen, and I also don't want them in my house.
Fair. I don't mind them because they kill the other bugs. So
Yeah,
I'm just
I
like, okay, do
understand.
your-
I like logically, I understand that. No,
yeah, but you don't
also.
like it.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. But like for someone for someone like you who might be like very scared of spiders, you could start with like thinking about spiders and practicing calming techniques like deep breathing and stuff like that. And then you move on to pictures of spiders, and then you move on to looking at a spider like in real life, and you move on to holding it. And so it's like you slowly get introduced to what it is that scares you, and you keep overcoming it. And that's unfortunately the same with agoraphobia. You just have to do it, which is of course easier said than done. So I do have like some recommendations for actually doing it, which is the thing that will help you. So for me, what was really helpful is I had a little like panic bag. It was kind of like a makeup toiletry size bag, and in it like I had my emergency medication for when I have a panic attack. I had anything that calmed me down. I had paper bags for breathing. I had things to fidget with, stomach medication, like everything that I could possibly need. I had. And I took it everywhere with me because I knew that if I had it, it's like, okay, even in the worst case scenario where I do get a panic attack, I have the means by which to help myself with and get over the panic attack. And that in itself just comforted me and allowed me to be able to go out a bit more. My dog really helped me, in all honesty. I'm not saying get an animal if you can't take care of it. Please, like, don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But animals are also a great source of support because you have to walk your dog, right? So I had to keep going out over and over and over. And she herself was comforting to me so I could do it a bit better. But if you don't have a dog and you can't get a dog, that's fine. Don't get a dog. But also humans can help. Having like a good support system, someone that may be able to come with you, that can be really comforting. Being well prepared, like knowing what's coming, knowing what time things are going to happen, that can make you feel more in control. Those are kind of the things that I personally did the most because that's just what worked for me. Just always being prepared, being ready, being organized, knowing what's coming next, and having a good support system, whether it's a human or a furry dog. I'd say those are things, but the reality is with the agoraphobia, you just have to keep doing it over and over and over, and it's going to take a long time. Like for me, it took me months and months and months to be able to go outside without having a panic attack and like walk my dog around the block without having a panic. So you just have to keep doing it. So that's how it works, sadly.
Yeah. Bite Mark says she got an essential oil diffuser necklace and picks smells that calm her and use those. I like that.
Yes, actually, that's a really great point because a lot of people actually, we don't realize how strong our sense of smell is and like how connected we are to scent. So like if you smell something that like a perfume that you wore 3 years ago, you're going to remember the stuff that happened that year, you know? So we actually do get really attached to scent. So that's a really fantastic idea. Like if you have like, for example, if you're really close with your mom, if she's like a great support system for you and she has perfume, you can spray it on something and smell it and, you know, feel calm, or a partner or an essential oil that, you know, you really enjoy. That's a really, really good point. And especially if you associate it with comfort. So like if you use your like essential oil when you're meditating or sleeping or doing yoga or something that's relaxing, and then you wear that same scent outside, your brain is going to associate it with the calming action. So that's a really great way to do it too. I didn't remember to mention that. Thank you so much.
So you mentioned the agoraphobia and kind of panic disorder being linked and kind of being a trigger. Are there other clear triggers for you for your panic disorder?
Yeah. Well, first with panic disorder specifically, like I mentioned, the key component really is just random and consistent panic attacks. So I don't always have a trigger, and that's just kind of the reality of panic disorder. But I do also know my triggers, and I get scared with public speaking a lot because I get really scared that like I'll choke up and like my brain will just turn to mush, and then I'll be like, I like not know how to get out of it. So I've done it before. Um, so that's a big trigger for me. I really hate crowded spaces. You can't tell I'm sitting, but I'm small, I'm short, and so I get kind of clumped all the way at the bottom. I can't breathe well, so I hate like crowded places or places that are super loud. And for me, actually, and this is actually a rather interesting thing, is I get triggered by my own breathings. Like when when I feel things like in my body, like sensations, especially ones that feel uncomfortable or abnormal, I can actually get panic attacks. So I've had times where like I'll overeat and I'll get a panic attack because like I'm bloated and uncomfortable, and like the physical sensation itself makes me panicky. Or when I'm focused too much on my breathing, I notice it and I'm like, oh my God, what if I just stop breathing right now? And then I start hyperventilating because I'm like, wait, now I can't breathe.
Right.
So for me, those are the things. But everyone's triggers are, really unique to them, and all of them are valid. Like, I used to think I was really dumb for my breathing thing, but I'm like, what can I do?
Right.
That's just how
Right.
it is.
Yep.
All I can do is work with it and not be mad at it, because that just takes up even more energy than just moving on with my life and dealing with it as best as I can.
So what are some of your kind of top or favorite or most effective strategies for handling a panic attack when it does happen?
Distractions. I love distractions. That is what works personally for me the best. It's not the ideal final goal. The ideal final goal, if you were speaking therapeutically, would be to be able to sit in the panic attack, notice it, and just stay in it rather than distracting yourself or trying to fight it. That would technically be the therapeutic end goal, like the ideal. I'm never going to reach that because Lord knows I cannot sit through a panic attack just to notice. So for me, distractions are really great, but they're very also tricky. You have to find like a really sweet middle spot where it's something distracting enough that it can override you're thinking about the anxiety, but not too distracting so that like you don't give up on it. So for me, I really enjoy distractions. I've counted backwards in French in threes. That proved to be too difficult though, so I I didn't end up doing it again. But different like phone games, talking to someone. I could recommend one I use. This is like not sponsored or anything. It was
No,
literally
you're
just my
fine.
life.
Yeah.
It's called Word Cook, and I really like that one. Because so you get like a bunch of letters and you make as many words as you can.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just distracting enough, you're like,
I've seen that
okay.
one.
Yeah, and it's really nice. When I went to Vancouver, traveling is really hard for me. So when I went to Vancouver the whole time, I'm just on my phone, I'm just like work cookies, like the whole time. And it really helped. And that translated into the rest of my life. Whenever I get anxious, I just go right on it. So trying to experiment with different stuff and seeing what works for you would be really good. For most people, breathing techniques might be helpful. Like I mentioned, for me, they wouldn't work because of breathing
Right.
triggers me. But for most people, breathing could work. Breathing techniques, like the little square one where it's like you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, you breathe out for 4 seconds, then you hold for 4 seconds, you just keep repeating. What else is there? Well, there's also medication, but
Mhm.
that is like dependent on the person and whether they want to take it.
Yeah.
But I would say for me, the thing that's most effective, like for me, is distractions. But there's a lot more than that. Oh, and also grounding techniques. Sorry, I just remembered the grounding techniques could be really good because I know a lot of people dissociate a lot when they're panicking. So having some grounding techniques, maybe like 5 things you can see, 5 things you can smell, 5 things you can touch. Those can be really effective, and people can also help you do them. So you don't have to do all this, on your own, but you should be able to, because there's just times where, we're alone, right? So on the bus, you can't ask a stranger, hi, talk to me and distract me, please. I'm having a panic attack.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but I don't know what response you get. So
You could, unless that increases your anxiety because you're talking to someone you
yeah,
don't know.
exactly. Or it's that asshole from the hospital that interviewed me.
Yes, right.
You never know.
Not going to ask him for help.
No.
I think that it's important to point out that like just because something works for one person who's having a panic attack doesn't mean that it's going to work for everyone who's having a panic attack. Because the breathing that's a big thing. We learned that in mental health first aid, the first aid course, because it's something about the 16 seconds that it takes you to do that is a breath cycle, and then you're depriving your body of that oxygen for 16 seconds, and it helps you reset. And if it hasn't helped you reset, then you do it again. But clearly that won't help everyone because some people have a problem with literally their breathing. So
absolutely, yeah. So it's important to have like a lot of different techniques under your belt because you never know. And honestly, my like best tip always when it comes to someone else having a panic attack is like to ask, and because like people kind of know what might work for them, and if they can't, like I know sometimes if I'm really in it, I'm so unable to breathe, I can't form a sentence. So even knowing then, okay, in that case, I can ask yes or no questions. Would you like some water? Is it okay if I touch you or like give you a hug? Do you need fresh air? Would you like for us to leave? Like yes or no questions are still usually possible. So yeah, like everyone's different. So not assuming that I think that's like a really important tip for anyone who wants to help someone having a panic attack. Because sometimes people, when they learn about these things, they're like, oh, I got this, guy. Like, I know what to do. And then they make it worse. And it's like, you don't know what you're doing, buddy,
Right.
So keeping it, keeping yourself humble about that. Like, even with me all the time, I'm like, please tell me if I'm wrong, because I probably, like, maybe am, So always being willing to learn. I really, I find that really important. I feel like the more you know, the less you know in reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That Dunning-Kruger, every time I feel like every week this comes up, the Dunning-Kruger effect, where you feel like you know everything, and then you find out you know nothing, and then you kind of level out, and then there's another thing, and you realize you think you know everything, and then you find out that you know nothing, and it's like it just keeps going up and down and level, and up and down and level. So yeah.
Absolutely. No, that really is it. So people think they know everything. I'm like, like wait a few days, we'll see if that.
Yeah.
Like
well, and especially with me, because like I said, I like the information. I seek out all the information. And so then I read 20 articles. I'm an expert, right? No. I mean, I'm not, right? But
yeah, absolutely. But obviously,
it's a trap you can fall into. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, honestly, this is a really common thing. And I see it in my own profession, like social workers or psychologists thinking they know everything because like they got a degree in it. I'm like, I don't think so. Especially a psychologist. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I hope no one watching is a psychology student. I don't know what it is with the psychology kids. They're like, they think they're Jesus. I'm just like, they look at you and they're like, you have daddy issues. You have major depressive disorder. When you were 3, you scraped your knee. You had a dream about a potato. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, because they've learned about it, so they think they're an expert in it and they can like guess anything. And I'm like, no, I actually had a dream about a tomato, not a potato. So
right, yeah. I watched a ton of bushcraft videos. I could definitely survive in the wilderness with nothing but a knife. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and so that's I can't think of the name of the study or when it was done, but there's a study about that people who watched videos versus reading about it felt like they knew more, like actually had acquired skills based on watching that video, that by the time it came around to do the task, they were like, I don't need instructions. I know how to do this. And they actually did worse than the people who went into it not knowing anything, because they were like, no, I don't know. Give me all the information and let me, follow the instructions, where the people who had watched videos about it felt like, no, I've got this I've got it under my belt. Like totally. Yeah. Not as extreme as bushcraft. Okay. But
that's how we should approach it though. Like I feel like we should always approach anything as if we know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Rather than like, oh, I know about this. Even with panic disorder, like I lived it my whole life. I could recite everything about it on the back of my hand, but I'm like, if someone tells me something new, I'm like, oh my God, you're so smart. I don't really know that, I stopped it rather than, get mad or, feel it as like an attack on my ego or something. It's like,
right.
We don't have time for that.
Yeah. Look, Bite Mark found the study. Thank you. Title is Easier Seen Than Done. Merely watching others perform can foster an illusion of skill acquisition. Yes. That is the one. 2018. Yes. Yeah. Very, very cool.
Fresh.
Yes. Yeah, because they used YouTube to do it. So that's, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah.
I'll pull that one up whenever I'm having a debate with myself.
There you go.
Did you guys know? And then I'll do the duck call after.
Absolutely. The duck call is important. That's how you should end all of your arguments or kind of like intellectual discourses, just with the duck.
Instead of like a mic drop, just do that. Oh boy. Can you imagine?
It's the new mic drop. I love it.
And only I can do it, so only I can mic drop.
See? It means you by default win everything. That's it.
I'm excited. I love winning. I'm like your son. I love winning.
Yes. Oh my God. He loves winning. He hates losing also. Like you can love winning and not hate losing, but he loves winning. He absolutely hates lose.
Yeah, I'm a sore loser too. I have to be honest. I have to be honest with my flaws. I'm a pretty sore loser.
So, as a student, do your diagnoses impact your ability to thrive in a campus setting? And are there any specific steps you have taken or do take on a regular basis to persevere?
Hmm. I think that I'm actually in a rather lucky, privileged position because of the program I'm in. So, like, our program specifically is very progressive social work. And so my professors tend to be very accommodating when it comes to these things. And I know I can always just go up to them and talk to them casually about it. And they would be super relaxed about it. I know a lot of students who don't get that, especially in like the more sciencey side of school. But I also, on top of that, again, I'm privileged and lucky to, well, actually, I don't know if I would call this privileged or lucky, but I technically have like a permanent disability thing, like on my record. And so that also allows me to, if a teacher is giving, or if a prof is giving me a hard time, I can be like, I can hold it up and be like, try me. You can't do
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I am lucky in that sense, but it does still impact, I don't like using those accommodations, and I don't use them 99% of the time.
Yeah.
But it does get really hard, especially like when it comes to those months where everything is due, there's a lot going on. I also work, I have placement, I'm a caregiver, I do the vlog, I do YouTube, like there's so many things, right? And eventually the cup, spills over, and it can be really hard to get out of, those really bad depressive episodes or really anxious episodes. But I think, I mean, I say this humbly, but I feel like I'm an insightful person into my own self. And I know that if I were to stop going to school or succumb kind of to those anxiety episodes or depressive episodes, I would not be able to go back. And so I really push myself to keep going because I kind of know what'll happen if I don't. So I'm lucky to be insightful. I'm lucky to be in the program I am and to have this that I have, but it still impacts me. And I can't even imagine how, you know, other students in my own university, how they cope with similar things when they're in programs that are much less accommodating or they're unable to get that permanent disability document. So luckily I can't complain too much on that end. Although I love complaining, I can't complain too much. Can't complain there too much though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things, lately with everything that's been going on, like my cup is to the full point. And I mentioned to you, like I kind of stopped doing the YouTube videos and converting things to like podcasts and stuff because sometimes it's just too much. However, since I stopped, like Saturday afternoon, I had lots of time. Like we didn't really do anything this weekend. I had lots of time. And where normally I would have made use of that time, now because I hadn't been keeping up with it, I was like, and I literally consciously made the decision not to. And so it's like I stopped. So now that forward progress is stopped. And yeah, it's hard. It's harder to
But
get
it's
back
also
into it. So
it's also though like you said, your cup is full,
yeah,
So it's like when you do finally get that moment of or that time to not do anything, you're not gonna want to do anything because your
right.
cup is so full. And so I don't even see what you did as like you consciously decided. I see it as like you're tired, your cup is full and you needed time to just do nothing. And I think that's okay, especially during this time. And I struggle with that just like you. I'm a workhorse. I have to literally be shoved onto the bed to sleep or like to relax. My partner always nicked me for that and is like, I'm gonna literally like keep you down because otherwise you're gonna work. Uh, so for me as well, because of what's been happening, and also like I might have shared with you, I had like a loss recently in my family, and so like dealing with grief and anxiety and depression, just these really bad spells where I literally just can't get out of bed and feeling so guilty because I'm like, I should be productive. I should be hustling. I should be working on something. But it's like, how do your body is clearly telling you something, your mind is telling you something, like you need to rest and you need to stop putting all that pressure on yourself. And I feel like that goes for you too, because your body's clearly telling you, like, no, ma'am, I need a break. Leave me alone. I don't care about these videos. I need a break, you know? So, and that goes for everyone in this whole pandemic, really, because
Yeah.
there really is like an emphasis on hustle culture. And while that's, great because, you're persevering and you're trying to accomplish things, it can be really detrimental if you're not taking those moments of rest and not listening to your body and allowing yourself a break. I'm being the biggest hypocrite right now. I was literally just like working and my friend was like, stop working. I was like, never. I'm being the biggest hypocrite right now.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you is what I'm actually telling myself.
Yeah.
But
practice, practice what I preach, not what I actually do. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I mean, I saw some, and I can't even tell you who posted it. I don't remember. It was a while ago, but months ago. Like that blows my mind that this has been going on for that long. But somebody posted, if you don't come out of quarantine with a new side hustle, like you're wasting your life. And I'm like you want us to do our jobs at home or be unemployed. Either way, like I'm fortunate enough that I can do my work from home. So we're at home. My kids are homeschooling. Like I have to balance all of that. Plus my personal life is just exploding. So how am I supposed to do that? And isolation, you can't like go to this, like it's stressful to go anywhere. You're looked at weird if you're driving somewhere. Not now. Now everyone's driving everywhere. But at the beginning, it's like I had to go to the drugstore to get my steroids for my hands. When they canceled my surgery, I was like, all right, but you got to do something.
Yeah. So you're not leaving me here at
No. So I got looked at weird for being in my car, literally just being in my car. I got funny looks. And it's like, you want us to take all of that stress on and come up with something new? Like, this is great. So, yeah, that post, and I'm just like, that's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like just the trauma of a pandemic, that's hard. Like, that's scary. People are scared. People are losing jobs, houses, family members. Like, this is not just, oh, I'm comfortably at home, not worried about anything. This is scary. And like, especially for children, like imagine going back to school and having to sit far away from your friend or having to wear a mask. That's traumatizing. That's terrifying. And I don't think people put enough emphasis on that. They just see it like as a break and like you get to stay home. But it's like, that's not really how it is. Maybe if you're lucky. But a lot of people are dealing with kids. A lot of people are dealing with sick loved ones. A lot of people are dealing with debt and like money issues and financial issues. Like, I know what you mean. And I saw that too. And I was like, no.
Well, and even taking it a little bit further, like if you experience a loss in your family, some people can't go to the funeral because of all of this. Like that's such a mind fuck. Like you just lost someone, and I lost my grandfather in December. And it's like, if I hadn't been able to go to his funeral, if I hadn't been able to go to the hospital to see him on a regular basis when he was in the hospital, literally dying, like we knew he was dying, and I would have lost my mind. Like that's insane. Right.
Yeah. It doesn't give you closure because it's like, you can't see them, you can't have a ceremony, you can't feel that support from everyone in your family and friends and stuff. And it's really been weird. Like, honestly, with me as well, like I honestly forget about it half the time because I'm like I haven't had that closure. And so like it was my grandma, and so like I would go to her room and I'd be like, Grandma, and then I'm like, right. Like it feels so weird, you know. And that like so many people are dealing with that, you know. A lot of people have lost loved ones, and that is really hard when you can't have closure. And you have kids and you have to be scared to go buy yourself food, or you can't pay your mortgage or your rent or whatever. Right. I don't have a house. I don't know how it works, but
it's a trap. It's a trap. Just trust me.
I've been living in this room with my parents since I was like little. I ain't moving. But yeah, so it really is traumatizing. And I think while the hustle culture can bring forth great things, it's like to expect that out of people and to expect them to be fit after or like something created. It's like, lay off, you know, like calm down. We don't need that. We don't need that energy, okay? We're stressed enough.
Right. Don't stress me out by trying to add more. Yeah. Forward progress is good, but if you push too hard, then everything will be impacted, and that's even less forward progress. Yes. If you don't come out of quarantine with a new side hustle, then that's perfect. Fine, and you're still a wonderful person. See? That's the attitude that we need. Like, If
I
someone comes
endorse the
out,
message.
yeah, right. If somebody comes out of this with a new side hustle, great for them. Don't expect me to. It's not happening.
I know. I've honestly felt that pressure a lot because when I'm at school and I'm working and I'm at placement, I have very little time to work on my blog, on my YouTube, things that I love doing. And then now that school ended, I lost my job and I'm at home. I'm just like, I should be working super hard on the blog. And I honestly, I was so stressed for like a solid month. I started balding. I was like stress sweating all the time because I'm like, I need to work, I need to work, I need to work. And like I would work from the moment I woke up to when I went to bed, and I'd keep going every day. And then ever since passing happened, I've been like, okay, like you actually really need to like calm down here. Like your body is literally screaming for rest.
Yes.
It literally cannot get out of the bed. Like you need to rest. And it's been really hard. Like as much as I preach, it's really hard for me because I am such a workaholic. I'm just like, oh my God, I need to be working all the time and everything. But realistically, logically, and we all know this, you need to take care of your body, your mind. You need to, you know, you need to do all that. You need to rest if you want to even do your work properly and thoroughly. So listen to the hypocrite.
Yeah. So what made you become interested in sharing your life through blogging and content creation for mental health?
Well, I've actually always loved writing. Like I mentioned, I was a big bookworm. I always wrote as a kid. I lived for the praise of the English teachers that would read my short stories and be like, oh, that was so great. I'd be like, oh, thank you. I feel like I was kissed by God. I'm like, thank you so much. So I'm actually always been a very creative kid. I've loved creating things. I would talk to myself in the mirror, pretend I'm making a video. It was kind of embarrassing. But I've loved always being creative. And I also love, like I mentioned, psychology, and I love helping people. And I even put this actually, I think, in like my actual websites about the site. I was like, I really wanted to create this blog for little me because this was what she needed at the time and she didn't have it. And the hardships of that and the trauma of that are still present in my body and my mind. And I don't want, as cliche as it sounds, I don't want other people to go through that. And if I could educate someone on, things about mental health so that they can support someone better, or I can make someone feel less alone or more supported or more happy or comfortable, that really is the world to me. My whole heart, like that just means the world. It's all I value and love in life. So that really is why I did it. And I felt like I could do it. I felt like I've had a lot of experience of my own in, the mental health sector and struggling with mental illness since I was little. I knew kind of the practitioner side because of my profession, and I just felt like I could offer that, and I just hoped that it would, reach someone that needed it, really.
Mm.
That's really it. I just wanted to help.
That's a perfectly valid reason. I love it.
Thank you.
Does what you've lived through help you relate to others in some way? Like, are there the times that your background has helped you connect directly to someone else?
It has happened. And it's happened both through blogging and both through my actual social work, where, there are a lot of kids that are like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know why these things are happening or what this is. And I can identify it in them. And I'm like, I see what you're going through. Let me explain it to you. It's okay. You're normal. You're fine. You'll be good. I've connected with people over the fact that, in my culture, you don't talk about these things. And it's really, really hard to be open. Some family members don't even know that I have a blog, that I have YouTube, that I'm even mentally ill. They don't even know. And they never would get it, even if I explained it, they would just be like, what are you talking about? Like, it doesn't make sense. So, I bonded with people over that. And it really is special because it feels good for me and it feels good for them because we're like, okay, we're these two completely different people somehow having this similar experience. And, it's a comforting thing to know you're not alone. And it's really important. I mean, as humans, we're pack animals, right? We thrive off relationships and community. And so when we don't have that, it becomes really dark and really difficult. So I have bonded over all those unique experiences, and honestly, through blogging was the first time I like met anyone that also had panic disorder. I was like, why does no one have panic disorder? It was always like generalized anxiety disorder or OCD. I'm like, where are my panic disorder people? I never met anyone with it. I was like, am I the only one here? So yeah, I met some of the first people with panic disorder as well, and that was really comforting because they just like they got it. Like when I would say something, and I'll try to explain something to them on what I'm feeling. They just got it. They're like, yeah, I have the same thing. I totally understand. Whereas with everyone else, it's so hard to explain. Like, even if I explain it as thoroughly and as clearly as I possibly can, they can get it, but they don't get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't understand. They're just kind of like, okay, like, I see what you're saying, but I don't get it.
It's like explaining childbirth to someone who hasn't done it. Like,
exactly.
you can tell them how bad it's going to be.
Yeah.
Do they understand it until it's happening? No.
Exactly. Like, so it's really comforting. It's really great. I'm thankful for those relationships and those conversations. They're special.
Yeah. I feel the same way about what I do. Like, it's been nice to just have people who come here, and like I've gotten people who just send me mental health related things, and it's like I love that when they think of something mental health, they kind of think of sending it to me and connecting with them over stuff like that. And then just to say like, my brain sucks today, and to have someone else who also has, particularly with depression, my anxiety is not very, like, I don't want to minimize my anxiety because yeah, it's there, but it's not very there. Like, some people have it
common as depression.
Right. Some people have anxiety way worse, and I'm not trying to minimize my experience by saying that. Like, legit, I don't struggle with my anxiety as much as I just struggle with my depression. And so to be able to reach out to somebody who also struggles with depression and just be like, my brain sucks today, and they're just like, girl, I get it. Where if you
like, there's no words needed.
Right. If you say that to someone who has never experienced depression, they're just gonna be like, what's wrong? What's wrong with your brain? What do you mean your brain sucks? Like, they're gonna ask all these different questions, and then also, even if I explain it, like you said, no matter how much I explain it, if they haven't been there, like, they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. So.
And then they might offer those unhelpful tips that we discussed. Have you tried getting out of the bed?
Right. Well, how about if you go for a walk? Bitch. Think I haven't tried that. Never
gone outside in my life. I wouldn't know.
Right. And it's like, yes, okay, some of the things that people might suggest could help. But I've tried the simple ones. I know what works for me. And just because it works for someone who's just sad doesn't mean it's going to work for someone who has depression. Like, that's
exactly, yeah.
So
there's like a distinct, no, absolutely, you're right.
Yes, yeah. Oh, Bymer said I've been recently dealing with far more anxiety than depression, which is a weird switch for me. That's interesting. Is it because everyone's home?
It could be. No, honestly, anxiety is so up right now for most people, and being alone is like, it's creepy, especially if you really like alone, like you live alone in an apartment, like you don't have dogs, fish, family, anything, right? It's like, of course you're gonna get anxious, like you're locked away by yourself. And it's also normal.
I was thinking more because she has people there that aren't usually there all the time.
Oh, that'll do it too. Okay, because that's me, but I was also talking about the other side. But also, it is also normal to like flip between things. Like at the beginning, the reason that, I guess that's how it phrase it. The reason that I technically was sent to emergency was because of depression and because of suicidal thoughts, not necessarily my anxiety. And that my depression was way worse at the time. But then it's the anxiety that ended up blowing up with panic disorder, right? And then sometimes I'm way more depressed than I am anxious, and I'm way more anxious than I'm depressed. So honestly, it's normal. So don't even beat yourself up or worry too much about it, because it's normal, really. Flip-flop all the time.
She said it's difficult because my coping mechanisms for depression don't work for anxiety. I could see that. You could see that. And you're used to those coping mechanisms for depression. And while you have coping mechanisms for anxiety, like, you're used to more of the coping for depression part of it.
Well, maybe a way to turn it around. So the way I always deal with everything, especially changes in my mental health, is I try to spin it as like, okay, this is an opportunity to learn more things. So for you, like you mentioned, you have the Great Depression skills, right? But or the coping skills rather. but not the anxiety one. So this could be a time to actually really key in on like different coping strategies and really trying them out and seeing what works for you so that the next time you have like a flip, then you'll have those strategies. You know what I mean? So it could be really great time to try different things like mindfulness or breathing techniques or whatever may be grounding techniques, distractions. It could be anything, right? So instead of like, I've really been myself working on this. Instead of looking at it as why is my mind and my body doing this? Like, why is it flip flopping? To kind of switch your lens and then look at it as, okay, this is what's happening. And I accept it, I acknowledge it, and let me try new things now and learn new things so that I can do better next time.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that last week when we were talking about reframing too. So that's a good.
And it's hard to reframe. Like, don't expect it to happen right away because we have like neurological pathways that are just like, it's the way that I was taught it was, if you look at snow and like a really like shredded in path that's like really like clear, like, you know, like there's barely any snow left because it's been so walked over, and versus like a fresh pile of snow. Obviously your mind's going to go the easy way with the already tracked path, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can't make a new path. It's just going to be a little bit harder to get your brain there. So reframing takes time and a lot of work and energy, but it's possible. And this could be like a great time to try it and see if you can do it.
Yep. She said, I like it, strengthening my weaker points. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just adding stuff to your toolbox. Like
absolutely.
And if your depression isn't in the way as much, like sometimes learning new things for me is easier when I'm not in a depressive episode. You know, no more toolboxes. Okay, I'm sorry. She's working on remodeling their house. I'm sorry, no toolboxes. I was kidding. More things in your All right, I need a new analogy.
In your kit.
There you go. Yes, in your makeup bag kit, right? Yes, mental health kit. Yep. There you go. So have you had any wow moments or awesome things that have come from sharing your story online, aside from kind of meeting people with panic disorder and other things?
Honestly, this is what I would consider like a wow moment, because I have like never done any kind of stream. Like, I do my videos, but obviously I film them alone and all that stuff. So this to me is like a wow moment. I've been ranting about it like ever since he messaged me, and I'm just like so excited. So this to me is a wow moment. I recently checked like my Google. I don't want to go into details because it's boring and it doesn't matter, but it's like it's SEO stuff, and
kind of the analytics type. Yep.
And I found that I actually ranked like high for a certain keyword, and I was like so excited because I haven't done that before. I was like, wow, oh my god, look at me, I'm on Google. Like,
good.
I was just so excited. This is a wow. I mean, there really is. Even just posting my website was a wow moment. I'm like, I actually like did it. I actually completed like the work it takes. For people that don't blog, like, it's not easy at all. Like, it's really, really hard. It takes a lot of effort, especially even just like setting it up. The first ever comment I got one time, someone like reached out to me and like said like he really liked how I write, and like it's so like clear and perfectly balanced with like personal experience and then like professional stuff. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, anything like that is a wow moment to me. I really am a person who appreciates the little things. So the first, like, everything has been a wow moment, and this is my newest. One of my favorites.
Well, I'm happy to be counted among that. Thank you. But if you want to nerd out about search engine optimization, you go right ahead.
You don't want to hear it.
You'll be in good company.
Oh my god! I don't know. The thing is, I could rant, but I'd probably be ranting the wrong information. I could rant about SEO and it'd be correct. I would be number one on Google, but I'm not. You'd be listening to the wrong person.
So as we've kind of talked about already, these are weird ass times. Do you have any advice for those who are struggling with isolation or with panic disorders in this pandemic that we're experiencing?
Yes. I think the first thing that I would point out is the importance of maintaining social contact with people, not like physically, but it can be online. So whether it's something like this, where on Mondays, you're always watching our stream or your stream, rather our stream. I'm like inviting myself as if this is my stream.
You come on anytime you want.
Whether it's that, whether it's video chatting family or friends, or gaming, like gaming with friends or even with anyone online, stuff like that. They like the importance. I don't think we realize how important relationships are.
Yeah.
And how much they impact us, even if you're introverted. Like I am the biggest loner on the planet, and I still need to interact with people. Otherwise, it's like it gets very lonely, right? So I would say doing everything you can in a way that feels comfortable for you to maintain contact with people. I would also recommend scheduling in a lot more time for self-care, because it is a very stressful time. And I know that can be really hard, especially with people who have parents, people that have kids. Sorry. I thought I was the kid for a second. So I was like, people that have kids or even people to take care of. That can be really hard, but scheduling in something whenever you can. And self-care can look like anything. I know people always go to like the whole take a bath with the nice bath bomb or whatever, but that doesn't work for people. Like I hate baths. Like you're sitting in your own filth.
Same.
It's kind of
Oh, we had a whole conversation about this the other day. I hate the human soup. Don't want it.
Did you? Oh, the human soup.
Yes.
Oh, that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, like
So
so my youngest really loves to take baths, but I make him shower first. I'm like, no, you will be clean before I run this bath for you. But I don't personally like baths. Like I'll sit in a hot tub, but then I shower after. So
yeah, exactly. I'm the same. If I ever take a bath, I have to like shower first, wash my hair first, like get everything off, and then I will step in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're literally your filth. But self-care can really look like anything. Like for me, it's just sleeping in. Maybe taking a little bit extra time in the morning when I'm doing my yoga to like do some breathing techniques. It could be taking a walk. Sometimes I just literally like cuddle my dog. She's like a teddy bear, so I like would just cuddle her, and that's like great for me. Baking cookies, banana bread, whatever it is, taking some time for that, and also maintaining exercise. And I don't say this in like to stay fit. I mean this because since we're home, we're probably not moving as much. And when you're not moving as much, your body can get a little bit more crickety and your mind can get a little bit more foggy because you've kind of been idle for a long time. So exercising can be really important, and it boosts endorphins, which is going to make you happier. It can help you with your focus if you're having a hard time focusing at home. There's just a lot of benefits to exercise. So just maintaining that in whatever way works for you. Like you don't have to do the whole like hit thing where it's like, no, I can't do that. It can be whatever you want. You can just dance around your room and like listen to whatever music. Maintaining exercise, I think, would be important. There's something else, but I don't remember it. I forget everything. Just taking care of yourself. Just take care of yourself as best as you can. And also turn off the news.
Yeah.
Turn off the news. Because if you keep playing that all day long, you're going to lose your mind. Turn it off, catch up, and then turn it off. It's done. You don't need to check. You can check again later in the evening or the next day, but you don't need to be on there 24/7 listening. 24/7 is just too much. It's going to overwhelm you and you're going to get super depressed. So turn off the news.
Yeah, we talked about that. It wasn't last week. It was a couple weeks ago. But we talked about like limit yourself to an hour a day if you can. Like if you're having stress whenever you hear the news or read the news or anything, really try to put a time limit on it. Like literally set a timer if you need to, and then turn it off and try not to look at it. And if you look at it again, it's okay. Just try, when you catch yourself, turn it back off. Like just do that. So I listen to the news, I look at the news once a day, but I listen to the news probably once a week, because that's when I have to go to the feed store to get a food item for one of our pets.
My mom is like always listening to the news. So every time I'm downstairs, it's just always on. And I'm just like, Mom, I was here in the morning and they just repeated the exact same thing. How are you listening?
Like literally the same words. It was the same recording. Yes.
Exactly the same recording. And it's just too much, right? You're going to get depressed and overwhelmed. And also though, like with that, actually not even with that, it's a little bit different, but also like doing stuff that is new if you can, because I think what happens like a lot when you're kind of stuck like this is you get bored and you get tiring and seeing the same four walls all the time and seeing the same people all the time. And that can also actually really get frustrating. You can get really irritable that way and really depressed and anxious. So trying new things, but that doesn't have to be like a big thing. You know what I mean? Like it could just literally be like a new YouTube channel or a new streamer or a new game or a new
eat
meal.
in a different room. Like just
Exactly.
change up, you know, something.
Yeah, like I have a lamp back here that I'd never have back here. That's something new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to adjust the whole screen. That's new. And just keeping it, you know, as fresh as you can. Otherwise, you're gonna get really, unless you love routine and you love doing the same thing every day, which I can, you know, vouch for. I love doing the same thing over and over, but you get tired, you know. So keeping it fresh, keeping it new.
I think that's good. Thank goodness for my libraries having ebooks. Oh yeah, no kidding. No kidding. New co-host now with Duck Call. I love it. I love it.
I can make you an intro song. It'll just be this.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Everyone can do this.
I'm down.
Then I'll leave.
Yep.
I'm down.
Tune in every week for a new Duck Call.
Every week. I'll make a fresh one every single time for you.
I'll
do a new beat.
Yep.
I'll put a track behind it too.
100%. Yes, absolutely.
If I had a green screen, I would put myself in the sky, but I don't have one.
That'd be awesome.
Flying, but
so if you weren't doing what you do now, or if you had kind of chosen a different path, what would you be doing or have done instead?
I think that I would have been a dermatologist because super random, but I'm one of those people, and I'm sorry if you're not one of those people. And it's probably going to be one of your viewers because they don't even like the chewing, but I really like pimple popping videos.
Yes!
Just popping videos.
Yes,
I love
I do
them.
too.
I literally, on a Friday night, you will find me here in this room listening to classical music and watching them as a way to relax because they're so calming. There's just something so nice about it. It's like you're getting stuff out, and I'm just like, oh, beautiful. So I love that. And I actually do know a lot about skin because I've had very irritable skin ever since I was little. So I surprisingly know a lot. So I feel like I would like dermatology, or I think it would be some form of doctor, like I think a gynecologist or just a general practitioner. I do love the sciences. Like I actually am a science nerd, but the humanitarian part of me kind of took over more than the sciences. So, and also med school, I was like, I looked up how long it would take for me to become like a gynecologist or dermatologist in Canada. It was like 20 years. I was like, no, it's not happening. Over my dead body. I hate school though. I get good grades, but I actually hate school. Like I hate the institution. I hate the idea of sitting there and listening to someone for 3 hours. So no for me. But if I wasn't doing this, maybe I would have gone that way. Then I would have gone into the sciences because I like them. They're fun.
I like it. Yeah, she says she's fine with pimple popping, very satisfactory unless they don't finish and then it bothers me. Yeah, I agree.
Oh my God, yes. That's the worst, when it's like about to get to the good part and then it cuts off. I'm like, what was that? How could you do that to me? Like, what?
Or the ones where they only do like part of the nose.
Yeah.
And then like the other half is still, I'm like, why? Why wouldn't you just...
Or the strips, because they like they don't get really like the actual blackhead out. They just get like
the
sebum
sebum. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not it. You need to get it out. It needs to be like clear after. Otherwise I'm not happy.
Yep.
The
agree.
cysts are my favorite. Oh, the cysts are so fun because they just don't stop.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like a string sometimes when they come out. It's so gross.
Yeah.
Like you just can't. Well, and once you start watching them, I'm sorry, but I just can't stop. No.
I know. And there's so many textures of the cyst. There's like the string, like you said, then there's like the really gushy ones. Then there's the cottage cheese. There's just so many fun textures.
Or the ones that pop out like a little bean.
Oh boy.
Yeah. This is taking a turn.
I love it. This is taking a turn. We are now in dermatology stream.
Yep.
How can I help you?
Yes, right. What do you need to know about skin?
We won't diagnose your mental health, but we will diagnose your skin.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep, totally. So if you could wave a magic wand and eliminate one common opinion or particularly a misconception or theory surrounding mental illness or around talking about mental health, what would it be?
I think it would be kind of what I touched on earlier, that somehow the brain and what goes on in the brain is something abstract. and something that we can control rather than a literal physical organ.
That conversation right there is why I keep doing this show. Tsvetty said the more you understand about what you're going through, the more power you have over it. And I think that applies whether you are dealing with panic disorder or just a rough week where nothing feels like it's going right. Naming what's happening in your body and your brain takes strength and arms you with more information. And information is what lets you do something about it. We talk on the show a lot about how people talk to us when we're struggling. Telling someone to just stop having a panic attack or to just cheer up does not work, and it can make things worse. So if there's one thing to carry into your day, it's to watch how you talk to the people in your life who are having a hard time, and watch how you talk to yourself too. You deserve the same patience you would give to a friend who's going through whatever you're going through. Whether you're a student trying to make it through a semester while your brain is working against you, or you're just someone trying to get through Tuesday, the tools we talked about today apply. Exposure a little at a time, a support system, whether that's a person or a dog who forces you outside, distractions when you need them, grounding techniques when things get loud. None of that is a fix-all, but all of it adds up. If this episode gave you something, do me a favor and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Leave a review or a comment wherever you're listening right now if you've got a minute. That interaction and engagement genuinely helps the algorithm push this show to more people, and that way other people can find out they're not the only ones dealing with this stuff. And then share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Until next time, give yourself the same kindness you would give a friend. Struggles don't erase your value. Even tacos fall apart, and that does not make them any less delicious. See you next time.